What's up, sports bettors? This is currently the final leg in my Underdog fantasy entry, but I also have three more picks for tonight. Okay, I have an NBA player prop, an NHL prop, and another prop bet for Monday Night Football. So we're going to go through them. And again, the way this platform works, and we've discussed it a bunch of times, so I don't want to dwell on it too much, is basically just any three player props you select, any three-leg parlay you create, doesn't matter what sport, your payout won't change. You're always going to be betting 1 to win 6. Switch this to an under, 1 to win 6. Change picks, 1 to win 6. 3 picks, betting 1 to win 6, 5 in profit, plus your $1 stake back. So, long story short, we've gone through the math a bunch of times, but what this means is for a 3-pick entry on Underdog Fantasy, you're getting minus 122 implied odds. So what that means is when you're placing a bet on a sports book, you should assume that any play you take on Underdog Fantasy, you're betting at minus 122. And we have a bunch of videos breaking down the math of Underdog Fantasy if this is confusing. But long story short, when you're looking at Oddsjam, it doesn't matter if you're looking at the screen. So what this screen shows you is just like, for one specific market, in this case money lines, the lines between every sports book. So this is what the screen shows you. And you can look at player props, whatever. But what you'll notice is on Underdog Fantasy, you're going to see their line is minus 137 on the over and the under, as well as minus 122. And the reason for that is for a 2-pick entry, you're getting a lot worse implied odds, minus 137. For a 3-pick entry, you're getting minus 122, which is why you're going to notice all of my picks on Underdog, for the most part, are going to be 3-pick and 5-pick entries. So this was a play we had 1,000 to win 6K. It cashed, absolute banger, And what you're going to notice is basically any 3-pick and 5-pick, any entries I'm placing on Underdog, for the most part, are going to be 3-pick or 5-pick entries. And that's just because the implied odds you're getting are much better at minus 122. So the first play I went with, because the strategy on Underdog is pretty damn simple, and I'm just showing you literally what I'm betting. People always overcomplicate my videos like, why did you have a prize picks video today? Well, I found value on prize picks. Here are the sports books I'm sorting for, and here are the plays I see. You'll notice Underdog Fantasy is the first play and the second play. So that's where the profit margin is. And as a sharp bettor, you want to follow the value. There's millions of odds kind of across sports books, across markets. They're all updating in real time on Oddsjam. And it's your job to use the different tools. We have a middle betting tool, a positive EV tool, a screen to find value. That's your job as a sharp bettor. So the first play I ended up going with is just from the EV tool. The EV tool is super simple. All it does is it scans Underdog, right? It scans all the sports books. So it scans the, tens of thousands of odds. You can see right here. All the crap you can bet on Underdog Fantasy, you can't search through it manually, hunting for value, right? Same with the sports books. So what Oddsjam does is it takes all the sportsbook data, all the Underdog Fantasy data, all the prize picks data, and compares the lines to the bookies, right? And it shows you where there's value. So here we can see every sportsbook has Terry Rozier over 2.5 threes, heavily juiced towards the over. And we can get the over on our Underdog entry at minus 122 in a 3-pick entry or 5-pick entry, or minus 137 in a 2-pick entry. So this is the first play I'm going with. You can sort Oddsjam by profit margin. And of course, typically I just sort for the highest profit margin bet for the sports books I'm currently using. You can also filter by sport, league, whatever. But again, as a sharp bettor, I personally, just follow the value. It's really simple, right? You're kind of like an investor. You follow the value, right? When the marijuana industry is hot, investors focus on that industry. When the tech industry is hot, people focus on that. So it's no different in sports betting. Here, the top play is on basketball, not Monday Night Football. So I'm following the value. I'm not just betting to bet. I'm not trusting my gut like all these BS handicappers. I'm following the data. And here we can see all the bookies have Rozier over 2.5 threes, heavily juiced. And we're getting this at minus 122 implied odds, right? Which won't change for the over or under because, again, Underdog Fantasy, they don't change your payout depending on if you select the over or the under. So the odds are always the same for the over and the under. So this is a ridiculous play, right? Bet Online, a super sharp offshore sports book, has this minus 164. Pinnacle, sharpest bookmaker in the world, they're pricing this at minus 148. So we have all these data points, right? All these sports books try to set lines independently. So they're all data points telling us where the line should be set. BetMGM saying, hey, this should be minus 135. FanDuel minus 142. DraftKings minus 150. Caesars minus 142. Yada, yada, yada. So we have all this data in the market, and we're using data, real-time market data. Every game is different. Stop looking at historical data, right? Every day is different. If you look at Amazon stock 10 years ago, no relationship to what it is today. Completely different company. Every game is different. The Hornets matched up against the Magic. Maybe Rozier's more likely to, go over in threes. That's reflected in the odds. That's not going to be reflected in historical data based on how many threes Rozier got in his last game. Running hot, he's due. That's all BS, right? Follow the data. We have all these sports books giving us data on where they think the line should be set, and it's very clear. Minus 122, when you look at the market consensus, is an incredible value. So that's the first play I went with. Next, we go to hockey. Again, follow the value. We're getting minus 122 implied odds. There's some differences between bookies, but most sports books are pricing this minus 150 to minus 154, minus 145. Clear value on the under. Second play I went with. And then I have a Monday Night Football prop. Dallas under 4.5 receptions. The same math. It's the same strategy, the same math, right? Hunt for value, enough to beat the vig, beat the juice. When you're an investor, you're looking for stocks on sale, investments on sale, bonds on sale, whatever, right? Things on sale. It's no different in sports betting. Find plays with value, bet them, beat the vig, beat the juice, make money, make a positive ROI. And that's how you get your bet tracker to look like mine, right? Like, find plays with a positive ROI. You got to deal with some downward variance, as you can see right here, but you make money in the long run, right? This is, for the sports books, you can't sync every sports book. Like you'll notice, I'm currently in New York, is if we try to sync, you can only sync 5 sports books. Prize Picks, WinBet. So this functionality doesn't work for every sports book, but you can sync sportsbook, see your profit and loss, super valuable, and let's make some money, guys.